Today, we are going on a 3-day excursion from Phuket to Malaysia and Singapore. The first thing we do is pick us up from the hotel and bring us to the airport where we board the plane. And we have an early morning flight to be in our first city, Kuala Lumpur, by 10 in the morning. Upon arrival, we meet our guide and begin our city tour. Our first stop is the famous Batu Caves. At the entrance to the complex stands a huge statue of the god Murugan, 43 meters high. It is the third tallest statue of a Hindu deity in the world. To enter the main cave, you have to climb the stairs to a height of 243 meters. Batu Caves is a religious complex that has both natural caves 130 million years old and Hindu temples. It is the main center of Hindu culture in Malaysia and the most important center for the celebration of the Great Thaipusam festival. Originally, tin and bat droppings were mined here, but when all that could be mined was extracted, the cave became vacant and was used for meditation by a Hindu guru named Appalachama Pillai. One day, while meditating, he had a vision of the god Murugan, who pointed his spear at this place. It was here that it was decided to build a temple in his honor. Apart from the temple, there is a Shiva Lingam here, which you can rub and get the blessings of the deity. And after exploring the caves, we returned to the bus. Our next stop was lunch, which was at a local restaurant. For lunch, we had hummus, a kind of vegetarian rolls with fries, chicken and rice, salad broth, and tea coffee. And after lunch, we drive on to the main square of the city where Kuala Lumpur once started, Independence Square. When the British started to actively develop Kuala Lumpur as the capital of their colony, they of course needed an administration palace. This is what is the main attraction of the square. Here, next to it, we go to the Museum of Modern History of Kuala Lumpur, which contains photos, newspaper clippings from the early 20th century, related to the history of the city. On the second floor is a large and quite detailed scaled-down model of Kuala Lumpur. The next stop was near the famous Twin Towers of Petronas Tower. The stop is not long, just for a photo. And after that we go to check into the hotel. As a rule, on this excursion the hotel category is 3-4 stars. The rooms are clean, cozy. And in the evening, free time. You can, for example, look at the Twin Towers in the evening illumination. Very beautiful sight. By the way, the towers themselves have a shopping center and restaurants for every taste. We recommend watching the fountain show, which takes place on the backside of the complex from 8 to 10 in the evening. For those who like noise and bustle, we recommend visiting Bukit Bintang Street with its bars, clubs and massage parlors. Well, that's the end of our first day. The morning of our second day starts with breakfast at the hotel. There is no sense to describe it. Breakfast was a buffet with a wide choice for every taste. And after breakfast, we leave for our first attraction, the center of Chinese culture, Tianyuan Temple, located on a mountain in a quiet, secluded place. It is the most important temple of the Chinese community in Malaysia. Not the oldest and not the only one, but the most important. It is the center of the Chinese New Year celebrations. The first floor of the complex is occupied by the marriage department. The second floor is a huge conference hall, and the third level is the temple itself. For special connoisseurs of Chinese culture in the temple, you can make an offering to the goddesses in the form of incense, but the rest can make beautiful photos. By the way, there are statues of all 12 signs of the zodiac, so we find our own and take a picture. And we move further along the route to the administrative capital of Putrajaya, which is located on a small island. To begin with, we stop at one of the 5 bridges connecting the island with the mainland, Vivasan Bridge Suspension Bridge. From here, we have a magnificent view of the Malaysian Prime Minister's palace, the residence of the Sultan of Selangor, to whom Putrajaya once belonged, and the Pink Mosque, which is where we next head. At the entrance to the mosque, we get a special robe that covers the figure almost completely from head to toe. This is how you are allowed to enter inside. And we go to the main hall of the mosque. The Pink Mosque is built in an eclectic mix of classical Muslim styles. The design is Iranian, the minaret is Iraqi, the gate is Moroccan. Incidentally, it is in this mosque that the Prime Minister of Malaysia himself attends every Friday prayer. And this is the end of our tour, and we go to the airport and fly to Singapore. On arrival in Singapore, we meet our guide and go straight to lunch. Lunch. At lunch, we can choose from 2 dishes, fried fish or fried chicken. And after lunch, we start our sightseeing program. The first thing, we go to the Temple of Buddha's Tooth. After visiting the temple, we have free time to walk along the local streets, or rather the local market. Here there are souvenirs, clothes and restaurants. And after that we again get on the bus and drive to the central part of the city, the most popular place among tourists. Here on the embankment of the eponymous Singapore River, there is a neighborhood with old shop houses, the place where the city once started. After walking a bit more, we find ourselves on the Marina Bay Sands waterfront to take beautiful photos in front of the famous hotel. And after that we get on the bus again and go to check into our hotel. And in the evening, free time. Shopping lovers can go to Orchard Street, where all the main boutiques are located, or you can watch the fountain show in front of the Marina Bay Sands Hotel. You can also visit the gardens by the bay, the famous glowing super trees and flower greenhouses. Each of these places offers its own unique atmosphere and experience, making for an unforgettable evening in Singapore. The last 3rd day of our trip starts with a buffet breakfast at the hotel. And after that, it's free time. We do what we want until the second half of the day. And there are plenty of options to visit Singapore on your own. This and the famous island of Sentosa, with Universal Park and Water Park. Singapore Zoo is one of the best zoos in the world. Huge Ferris wheel with views of the whole city. Botanical gardens, one of the largest aquariums in the world. Or if you want, you can visit the Little India neighborhood or Chinatown. All in all, there's something for everyone to do and places to go. And in the afternoon, our adventures come to an end and we drive to the airport to return to Phuket again. And we will see you on our next excursion.